Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Vampyr Blind. Now, unfortunately, the exact thing that I have feared would happen has happened, which is rats and hideouts. Rats are often located near hideouts. Using senses can locate them more easily.
It's locked.
What are you talking about? There are no rats right here, but basically I had to redo a small bit because for some arcane, ununderstandable reason, this game doesn't have manual saving, so I had to redo a bit from an autosave. But I picked up all of the same items. Okay, it does. I guess it does highlight rats.
This is despicable.
To be honest, it's kind of interesting that he comments on the despicability of consuming rats for sustenance, but doesn't seem to comment on the despicability of consuming people for sustenance, which, as I commented on in the last episode, I personally think it's much worse. Keep out, okay. You find a new hideout. Here you can spend your XP while resting or craft items at the workbench. Okay. What? Refill? What do you mean? I don't get what... Frick! Okay, I guess I can't carry more items, more bullets than just one full magazine then. Oh, no, it's actually 3 magazines. Well, magazines. I guess it's, chambers from a revolver, but you know what I mean. 3 sets of bullets. Because I have 18 at most, I guess, for now. I guess there are additional ones in the hideout when I run out. And also some dead people, but can't really do anything about that. Well, let's see if I can... Crafting. On a workbench you can craft medical treatments to heal sick citizens, serums to boost yourself, and weapon upgrades to improve and customize your weapons. You have enough components to improve one of your weapons. Press D. Which one would be? Select a melee weapon to upgrade it. You can upgrade your weapon to a new level with the required ingredients. It will increase damage and will also gain access to customization slots. Okay. Let's upgrade this, I guess. Which do I want? Increased damage or lessened stamina consumption? I guess I prefer more damage. Unless I can have both. No, it says or, so... I guess I have chosen this, which is not exactly what I wanted, but... Oh well. I was choosing this, like, didn't it stick for whatever reason? Oh well, I guess I have decreased stamina consumption. Can I do anything else? Nope, because I don't have ingredients. How about this? Also no. But can I create treatment for fatigue? Because one of the citizens is fatigued, but I guess I can't. I don't have any of those. Oh, I could dismantle this. Alcohol. Sure. Okay, so I need quinine and sodium hypochlorite solution. Okay, I'll look for it in the future. For now, let's rest and see if I can actually, if I have enough XP to actually upgrade anything. Like maybe my healing. Or this. How much does it require? 2000. I have only 700. So that's not going to happen. To be honest, I don't think I want to go into bite upgrades at this point. If anything, maybe this. Just for greater survivability. Yeah, sure. They want to cancel? No. I want to confirm. Oh. I guess I slept through the whole next day, which is perhaps not the wisest thing to have done. Because obviously I was following a blood trail of a murder, and it seems to me that you shouldn't abandon such a clue in the middle of it.
Not a good place for a stroke. Christ, he's dead!
Okay. So I wonder if enemies typically respawn in this game, or is it more specific to this exact scenario, you know, of the surroundings crawling with vampire hunters? Because if they always respawn after I rest, then that's perhaps something I should keep in consideration. So generally I dislike respawning as a mechanic in game, in games, because it seems to rob me of the feeling of progression.
Fresh blood. The whole building reeks of it. The scent is so strong it makes me dizzy.
William Bishop. So that's the guy I'm trying to get to.
We've done it before. No. I had a drink outside tonight already and it didn't quench my thirst.
Used scythe. Equip a two-handed weapon to use its special ability. The scythe can be used to parry an incoming attack, inflicting heavy stun damage. Yeah, but to be honest, I think having the possibility to use
This place reeks of bloodshed.
the stake is actually better.
My last and dearest friend.
Okay, that's a lot of corpses.
I can't feel it.
This creature is bedeviled. I must put it down.
Okay, so I guess it's a boss encounter. I was hoping for some kind of a non-violent solution to this situation, but apparently no such luck. Oh, I can feed from... I was under the impression that he's a vampire as well at this point. What with him... Yeah, right. What with him talking about thirst and all that. But I guess that establishes that vampires can drink blood of other vampires, which isn't that uncommon in stories. Especially because, technically speaking, I guess vampire's blood is just a collection of the blood of mortals that the vampire has fed from. Used bludgeon. Okay. I wonder if that would be... Okay, first of all, it's simply better. Well, better. I guess it isn't because it's slower, but destined to crush skull and bones. Okay, so from the wording of crushing skull and bones, I doubt this is a non-lethal weapon. So I think I'm going to stay with the knife. But can I do anything else with the body? It seems weird that I could not. Well, let's try to help this guy.
Let me go. William was an honorable man. I could have saved him.
Mr. Hampton, are you in there?
I knew him well, another lost soul, a kindred spirit.
Sir, listen to the sound of my voice. I'm a doctor. You're suffering from shock.
I must return to my flock. They'll stray without me.
Remember, certain skulls are every bit as resistant as we are.
Who are you? What do you mean by scowl?
You truly are a newborn. I should have realized.
Wait. You are the woman from the bar. Are you... like me? Can you help me?
I believe, sir, I already have.
By George and the Saints, you've solved the mystery of these terrible murders.
Well, did I?
Patience, good fellows, I've come to offer help. Just give me a moment to secure my boat. We can leave this awful place.
William was not the evil man they claimed. He was just taken by the thirst. He needed his drink.
This man requires medical attention. We'll see he gets to the nearest hospital.
No, please, I must tend to my fold. My flock needs me.
There, sir. Go with the good Dr. Swansea. He's resourceful, and I'm sure he'll take good care of you.
You'd best come as well. The sun is soon to rise, and you'll need a place to rest.
I just need a moment. If I can learn something about what has happened to William, I'll be a step closer to understanding what happened to me.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not at all convinced that he was the murderer, because the murders were supposed to be going on for quite a long time, and in fact, they were almost legendary at this point. Like, there is this whole tale of the sewer dog. So he might have been responsible for some of them, but I doubt it's the end of this story. Well, let's search his body once more.
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
Interesting. Did I read that? Yes, I did. Blood sample of William Bishop. A fresh sample of William Bishop's blood in a small tube. Okay, can I go up? Where the women went? I don't think I can. Which is interesting and weird. Like, was the only reason I stayed here
It's locked.
pick up that single item on the guy's body? If so, then why wasn't it done in a cutscene or something?
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed, a surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy?
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
Okay, let's listen on. Maybe I can help.
It's okay, Jonathan. I'll see you later. We'll have a word in my office later, Jonathan. I'm sorry, Jonathan. Mr. Hampton needs me right now.
Okay, but also, it's kind of questionable to me what kind of help would a surgeon be during an epidemic of the Spanish flu. Like, it's not like I can treat it with surgery, but I guess it doesn't make accidents or other ailments requiring actual surgery disappear. You know, people still suffer from those. So I guess I could be of use in that. Although I have to comment on the fact that as a vampire, it seems a little bit risky to perform surgery because obviously you'd be head.
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
What does the game expect me to do now?
Oh, come on, you bastard! I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Okay, all those responses are bad. Like, I think in such a situation, I wouldn't argue savoir vivre. I would be like, let me help you first, before you bleed out, and then we'll argue how impolite you were in the moment. Because this is callous, this is psychopathic, and this is kind of pointless. Like, don't get me wrong, I fully sort of respect people being polite, and I would expect and I would hope that they would be, but in the moment where this guy is bleeding out to death, I don't think it's the best moment to argue that kind of point. But I guess out of all of those three, I will go with this.
Insulting a good Samaritan, not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes, that's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor, Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
What is the better place? Death? Like, is the game suggesting to me that I should kill him? The blood quality indicates how much XP you would obtain from a particular citizen. The higher the blood quality, the more XP you get. Yeah, but I'm not interested in killing him. Can I skip that? To drink the blood of your prey, you first need to mesmerize them to lead them out of sight. Yeah, but can I simply not do that? Like, I don't want to kill him. Him being impolite is certainly not enough of a reason to kill him outright. But it seems I have to press Q to mesmerize Clay. I'm not a fan of that. I hope I can mesmerize them and then not kill him.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
What? And what if I don't want to? First of all, that's very conspicuous. Like, come on. You'd think somebody would comment on how ridiculous that looks. What if I want to bring him to the hospital? Because I don't want to kill him. It's just as simple. I want to help him, in fact. Hello? Would you mind? Okay, this is a bit ridiculous. Really. I'm not a colossal fan of this setup. I hope it's just a tutorial of possibility, and in the end I will still have an option to refuse to drink from him. Because I don't want to kill him. I don't think he has done anything to deserve that. In fact, if I understood the previous scene correctly, because I wasn't paying that much attention, it was still rather far away, but wasn't he beat up? Like, isn't he wounded specifically because some other man jumped on him and beat him up? Press this to embrace Clay Cox, or spacebar to release him. Embrace him will provide a massive XP boost, but let's be aware that there will be consequences. Learning more about citizens and collecting their hints will increase the experience gained. Okay, I want to release him. So...
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
But
Oh, I feel giddy.
wasn't I supposed to help him? Like, isn't he still bleeding out, technically speaking? I haven't dressed his wounds or anything like that. So, overall, that was a pretty weird scene.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
I guess my master, the one who created me, my sire, he didn't approve of me letting him go. Okay, again, I'm kind of overwhelmed by the size of the nearby locations, because I would like to explore everything. Don't cough in public, I read that. Well, I guess let's first explore the hospital.
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippets, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
Medical checkup, interesting.
Do you need any medical assistance yourself, Doctor?
Come on, don't be ridiculous, dear colleague.
Okay, so I guess the answer is no. He's healthy. Mesmerize, I can't. Because presumably, yeah, he has a higher level. And I wouldn't want to hurt him anyway.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Branagan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
That's actually kind of sad when you think of it in context. How essentially, I'm not sure if he himself realizes this, but he essentially sort of explained why gender discrimination in terms of access to jobs or education is bullshit, because he himself has, he himself has just stated that she's so talented and so dedicated to her work that if she was a man, she would be a very good doctor, but she can't be, which is kind of bullshit, actually. And as I said, I wonder if he realizes that it is bullshit, or did he just comment on it sort of offhandedly, accepting the fact that it's the way world works, or does he have some kind of a deeper thought about whether it is right? I would be interested to learn more about this in the future.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Okay. I can't ask him about personal things because I don't have enough clues.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippets.
So I guess I
want to make wait, Doctor. I've patients to attend. Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
Okay.
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Okay.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Hospital full. Due to the influenza, the hospital can no longer take any patients. Hospital full, please go back home. Well, actually, regarding the guy that's bleeding out in the alley below, I don't understand why didn't I bring him to the hospital? Like, I already had him mesmerized anyway, so it's kind of weird how I wasted additional time just to tell the people here to bring him in, where I could have done that myself. Influenza, frequency complicated with pneumonia. To prevent any case of the Spanish flu, stay at home. Once again, kind of topical. Okay, let's get inside the hospital and talk with the people there. I'm a bit overwhelmed with how open the map seems to be, at the very least. But maybe I'll get the hang of it.
Good evening, nurse. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed, the new surgeon here at the Pembroke.
Dr. Swansea has already told us about you, sir. I'm Nurse Branagan. Welcome to the Pembroke Hospital.
Did he really? It's a good thing I wasn't hoping to keep a low profile.
All members of staff have already read about your new blood transfusion technique. Dr. Swansea made sure of that.
I see. Well, I'm a little surprised, but I suppose I'll just have to deal with this unexpected notoriety.
You must know, blood transfusions are Dr. Swansea's primary subject of research. He is convinced it is the future.
How are things here?
Not good, to say the least. We're struggling against an invisible enemy, more lethal than any bullet from a gun. It's hard, Doctor.
An invisible enemy? Quite a poetic term for a disease, especially from a nurse.
Sorry, Doctor. These last few weeks have been exhausting. We could all do with a good night's sleep.
Okay, that was kind of rude. Like, what does it even... Why did he have to add a qualifier that it's a poetic term for a nurse? To be honest, being poetic has nothing to do with being or not being a medical professional, so I'm not sure what's the relation between one part of the sentence or the other. It's almost as if he thought that a nurse is like stupid or something and can't have a poetic sort of outlook on life. I don't quite get what he wanted to tell through that, but unless it's the other way around and he is trying to say that he thought a nurse would be more scientifically minded and wouldn't care for such poetic epithets as an invisible enemy for a disease.
Do you think this hospital can survive the epidemic?
We are all volunteers here, and we're trying to hold fast, but how do we beat an invisible killer? Some nurses have already resigned.
I'm not familiar with all the staff yet. Perhaps you could help me.
Brilliant professionals, most of them. Dr. Swansea has a gift for recruiting talent.
Most of them? Is there a problem I should know about, nurse?
It would be inappropriate for me to speak ill of a colleague.
Is there anyone that stands out?
Well, I have never met someone as dedicated as Dr. Tippets. He should be a standard for us all here. If only he were younger.
Why should his age be a problem?
I guess it's fair to say he's always pushing himself to the limits. He just doesn't know when to stop and get some rest.
Interesting.
Nurse Branagan, if you do know something, please tell me. Anything you say will be held in confidence.
No. I may disagree with some conduct, but in the end, everybody is doing their best.
Do you require medical assistance, nurse?
Thank you for your concern, but I'm fine.
Okay.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
So let's talk with the other guy and ask him what does he think.
Just a dozen years or so.
What does he think of the fact that he's
Good evening, Dr. Tippets.
pushing himself too hard,
Dr. Reed,
apparently.
any good news to share?
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran. Maybe you should think about preserving your strength.
No. We must keep on healing all those poor souls. We are the last rampart before chaos. Once more, unto the breach.
I do think his attitude is a bit irresponsible because, to be honest, while I admire, his dedication to helping people, it's very dangerous to overwork yourself in any kind of job that requires concentration, but especially in a medical profession, because the more tired you are, the more prone to making mistakes you are. It's better to, serve a lesser number of patients instead of a greater number, but making mistakes along the way that might, in fact, kill them or something. So I do think it is a bit irresponsible to overwork yourself.
Your attitude is irresponsible, Doctor. Believe me, I've seen so many medical errors caused by exhaustion during the war.
You're right. This is a war, Dr. Reed, and I don't intend to surrender.
You're exhausting yourself, Corcoran.
No.
You're
right.
Oh, so I can't, because I thought for a second I could choose a different option. Maybe tell him that the nurse is worried because he seems to like her and she seems to like him back.
Dr. Tippets.
But I guess the game is smarter than that, and it has sort of locked me. Frick.
Good evening,
Didn't want to talk to him again.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippets.
It has sort of locked me in continuity with my original choice, which is fair enough.
Good evening, Nurse Branagan.
Good evening, Doctor.
Goodbye, nurse. Call me if you need assistance.
Okay, so let's actually get inside then.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
Interesting.
Do you need any medical help, Milton?
I'm fine, Doc. Physically, at least. But I would give everything to be in a better place right now.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything. And it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I'll bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing in. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital. That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Okay, I will try to check it out. If I can find that place.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
Yeah, or kill themselves, as one guy had already did in that other home I visited at the start.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Okay, I have 75 shillings. To be honest, I don't want to buy anything as of now. Did I talk to her? Yes.
This is no time for self-pity. It is the last thing our patients need.
So let's continue. I think Dr. Swansea is somewhere around here.
If only I were young again. Just a
Wait.
dozen years or so.
I might be going insane. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw him on the outside. But I'm pretty sure I saw someone else, right? Or was it him in the white coat? Oh well. Your city needs you. A life saved by efficient medical aid is a blow struck at the flu epidemic. Volunteers make the difference. Okay. Well, let's actually check the inside.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research. Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
I wonder if she actually is, because it seems to be setting up some kind of a possible switcheroo where everyone probably thinks that she's crazy, and she's just deluded into thinking that she's a vampire, but maybe she actually is. Because I am, after all.
Do you require my services, Miss Howcroft?
I have no need for your medicine, Dr. Reed. Blood is the only drug I need.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
Oh, Cotard syndrome is a kind of psychiatric disorder where you believe that you are dead, I think.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard's syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Well, to be honest, it's kind of weird that Jonathan is so unwilling to at least entertain the notion that she actually is a vampire, given that the fact that he is a vampire, so he already knows it's possible.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
It's kind of hilarious, because they are hunting me, actually.
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
It was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Okay.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Okay, read that already.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I believe we're going to be colleagues.
Reed? Yes, I've been informed about your arrival. I'm Waverly Ackroyd. Welcome aboard, I suppose.
Does my arrival inconvenience you in some way, Dr. Ackroyd?
Let us just say that I don't particularly share Dr. Swansea's enthusiasm for hiring you. What we need here are reliable professionals, not overrated dabblers.
Do you need my assistance?
Not at all. I'm sure that you are used to gaining people's trust with your impressive skills. Well, it will not be the case with me.
If you have a problem with me, Dr. Ackroyd, please feel free to tell me.
Dr. Swansea has imposed your presence on this hospital without asking anyone's advice. The benefit of his position. But I don't agree with it.
I know we've never met before, but I believe this hospital could use all the help it can get. You will agree with that, I'm sure.
Oh, but I have heard about you, Dr. Reed. Of course, you can't say the same about me, since I have not wasted my time courting the press.
There is no need for such animosity between us. Don't you think the epidemic is already enough to deal with?
That is one point we could agree on. And that is precisely why I want to be sure that you will be of help to this hospital, instead of a burden.
Since your tenure in this hospital is longer than mine, perhaps you can tell me more